Kakadosh Boker Tov, we're continuing on Daf Memtet Amud Aleph 49a1. It's a new Mishnah, and we're going to speak as follows: Arba Asar Shechal Yom b'Shabbat. What happens if the 14th of Nisan falls out on Shabbat? Yeah, when does that happen?
This year.
Chazak Baruch. Very good. So this year, the 14th is going to be on Shabbat. So that means Pesach is on Motzei Shabbat. Yeah, so we're going to have a big balagan. How do you do for Suda Shlishit? How do you do for this? How do you do for that? So usually what people do is that they try to do either kashela Pesach food, right? Or things like that. But then you have the problem with the bread. So how do you do with the bread? Okay, but it's very, very... Yeah, it has to be kashela Pesach food. It's true. So let's start. Arba Asar Shechal Yot b'Shabbat. So the 14th falls out on Shabbat. Meva'arin et hakol milifnei Shabbat. You have to destroy everything that you're not going to obviously eat from before the Shabbat. These are the words that mean. Hachamim omerim. Hachamim say, bizmano. What does that mean? You get rid of all the chametz, whether chulin, truma, doesn't matter what it is, on Erev Pesach. That means even though this year it comes out on Shabbat, doesn't matter, the exact same time. We don't change anything.
Erev Pesach is Shabbat or Pesach is?
Erev Pesach is Shabbat. Yeah, so Rabbi Elazar bar Tzadok Omer, Rabbi Elazar bar Tzadok says, Teruma, you have to get rid of it before the Shabbat. Chulin, you get rid of it in the proper time on Erev Pesach. Says the Gemara, Tanya, we learned in a Braita, Rabbi Elazar bar Tzadok Omer, Rabbi Elazar bar Tzadok says, Pa'am achat Shavat Abba b'Yavne. It once happened that my father was in Yavne for Shabbat, and the 14th fell out on Shabbat. Yeah, Uba Zonin Memuneh Shalom Gamliel, came Zonin, that he was the one in charge of the house of Gamliel on Shabbat. Be'amar, and he said, Higia et levayer et hachametz. It came the time to destroy the chametz. Ve'alachti acharaba u'biyarno et hachametz. And I went after my father, and we did biur chametz.
You certainly can't burn it. I mean,
obviously you can't burn it.
Throwing it in the
exactly,
sea or
but basically,
the air.
exactly, it has to be done whether it's going to be the sea, the air, whatever it is. But you have to get rid of it, basically. But they were doing it on the same time, proper time on Shabbat. They weren't doing it on Erev Shabbat. Okay, next Mishnah. That was quick. Haolech lishchot et pischo ve'lamul lebeno ve'le'echol seudat terusin bevet chamiv v'nizkar sheyesh lo chametz betoch beto. Imagine right now you have somebody that's going to do his korban Pesach. He's doing a shechita on the korban Pesach, or he's going to do the brit milah on his son, or he's going to eat, right? Seudat terusin bevet chamiv. He's going to make like an engagement, right, in his father-in-law's house. Now he remembers 1 second. Ribono shel olam, I've got chametz in my house. Yeah, what's he going to do? So if he could go back, get rid of the chametz and come back to do his mitzvah, that means there's still enough time to do both. So that's what he has to go. He has to go get rid of the chametz and he has to come back and do the mitzvah. If not, he annuls it in his heart. Okay? Next case. Yeah, it says, next case, La'atzil min hanochrim, umin hanahar, umin halistim, umin haleka, umin hamapolet. You're going on the 14th of Nisan, and you're going to save a life, save a Jewish life, whether it was from the goyim that they're trying to get them, or from somebody that's going, there's a flood that's coming and is going to take everybody away, right? Umin halistim, or from bandits, umin haleka, or from a fire, Umina Mapolet, or all of a sudden there's like a, how do you call it?
Collapsed building.
Yeah, collapsed building. It was basically there's a whole, thing of stones or whatever it is that's coming down on you. Yeah. So what happens? It says over here, and you remember that you have chametz in your house. So here in this case, even if you do have time to go back and to save them again, yivateh belibo. Yeah, you do a bitul in your heart, and then you go straight. Right? We're not going to tell you, no, come back. No. You do it right away. Yeah, even if you do have enough time to do it. Yeah, that's what Rashi says. Why? Because since he's Osuk, that's Salat Nefashot, so Chachamim did not obligate him to do it. There's a Mishnah Berurah says this. And it means even though you have the opportunity to do both mitzvot, right, you're not obligated to do it. It's like a special leniency that Chachamim said, because what? You're doing a mamash, it's Salat Nefashot, you're saving a life, so therefore that's it. They didn't obligate you to do it, even though you could do it. Third case, yeah, Velishbot Shvitat Reshut. What happens if you're going to be Shovet Shvitat Reshut, which means you're going and you're just going to go to a certain place in order that you could konesh shvita, which means that you want to make your eruv tchumin in the middle, So now you could walk the 2,000 amot from that place in the middle. But that you're not doing it for mitzvah, you're doing it for dvar reshut, which means that you're doing it just for stam. So mamash was a mitzvah, stam. I want to be able to travel, right?
Maybe even if he's going to go to his father-in-law too.
If a person is doing lishbot shvitat reshut, yachzor miyad. He has to go back immediately to his house in order to do it. But basically here, there's no mitzvah, there's no nothing. Immediately you have to go back to your house in order to do biur chametz. Next case, which is very similar to this one. If somebody comes out of Yerushalayim and he realizes that he has in his hands basar kodesh, he's got kodesh in his hands. So if he already passed the tzofim, which is basically, this is the part outside of Jerusalem, which even nowadays is Hara Tzofim, but there's a question if it's the exact same place or not. But basically, that you could see the Bet HaMikdash, right? Tzofim is Mount Scopus, so you could look. So you have to burn it in its place. Why? Because since you took it out, so you have to burn kodshim that comes outside of the Bechorah. You have to burn it. If not, you have to actually burn it from the Mizbeach's wood. It says over here, is a place on Har HaBayit which is made specifically for kodshim that became pasul. It means it's a special place where they burn kodshim that became pasul. So it all depends where you were. If you already passed out of tzofim, you burn it wherever it is. If you didn't, so you go back in front of the bira, and that's where you're going to burn it with that tzemaracha. Ad kama en chozrin. So the Gemara is going to ask now that you just told me now that we're talking about chametz or basar kodesh that became pasul, that you're obligated to go back from your path. Ad kama en chozrin. Until what shiud do you have to actually go back in order to burn it? Rabbi Meir says it means what shiud, not shiud of distance, because that we already said. If it was past the Mount Scopus or before. Here we're talking about what size, what measurement are you obligated to go back. So Rabbi Meir says zev kabetzal. It doesn't matter whether we're talking about chametz or basar shekodesh shenifsal, basar kodesh, holy meat that became pasul. It has to be minimum of a kabetzah, and then you would have to come back. Okay, but says Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yehuda says zev gazait. It's not kabetzah, which is double a kazait, 54 grams. It's a kazait, 27 or 28 grams. Chachamim say basar kodesh is a kazait, but chametz has to be a kabetzah. Okay, so three different shitot. Are they both kabetzah, both kazait, or one is kazait, one is kabetzah? Capish? Clear? Until here, it's very clear. We didn't, it's just aleph bet until here. Okay. Says the Gemara, urminhu, we have a contradiction. Why? The contradiction is, it says over here, haolech lechol seudat erusim vet chaviv, velishpot shvitat reshut, yachzor miyad. In our Mishnah, we had a few different cases. You remember the first case was, you're doing shchita on your own korban pesach, brit milah, and eating seudat erusin. That's the first case. Okay, what's the second case? So that means erusin is like brit milah and shchita. Second case was latzil nefashot. So in the case of the brit milah and everything and all the other ones, if you had time, you go back and you do it. You don't have time, you do it in your heart. The second case, hatzilat nefashot, even if you had time, you don't have to go back. I don't know why the Mishnah brought it that way. Because if anything, the Mishnah should have brought it that all the things that you don't have to come back at all, even if you did have time, and then you, right? But I don't know why the Mishnah did it. The Mishnah first said, if you have time to do both, go back to do both. If not, then you just move a terbilibo. Second case, hatzalat nefashot, saving lives, you don't even have to come back at all. You have time, doesn't care. I don't care. You don't have to come back. We didn't bother you to come back. Third case was shvitat reshut, right? Which is basically, it's not a mitzvah, and it's not saving lives. It's just, how do you say dvar reshut? Just you're doing it because you just wanted to do it, not because there's a mitzvah to do it. So now here, the Gemara is going to ask a contradiction. The seudat erusin is on the same equation. It's on the same level of seudat reshut as not seudat reshut, as the restation, lishpot reshut, which is for the tchum, right? So therefore, what are you telling me? It's a mitzvah. Here, it's like nothing. So says the Gemara, answers Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says, Lakash, it's not a question. Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yosef. One is Rabbi Yehuda, one is Rabbi Yosef. The time was learned on a Braita. Seudat erusin is a reshut. These are the words of Rabbi Yehuda. That means according to Shtat Rabbi Yehuda, to make an engagement party, meaning a seudah, not the engagement itself, right? We're talking about the party is a reshut. It's not a mitzvah. So since it's a reshut, no, you understand?
What's halacha today?
Rabbi Yosef says it's going to be a mitzvah. What does that mean? What's halacha?
I mean, I didn't make an engagement party for my son. A lot of people do,
no.
I didn't.
You have to remember that here we're talking about. Okay, let me just, if I remember correctly.
Did I pass up on a mitzvah? That's what I'm saying. I didn't feel it was obligatory for me to have an engagement.
You have to remember that here, and that's why I just wanted to make sure that we're not going to say something incorrect. We're talking about erusin of the Torah, which is kiddushin. So nowadays, by the way, we do kiddushin and suin together, which means you do it under the chuppah, both of them together. Why do you both do it together? So Rashi says one of the reasons for the takana was because of the aniim, because of the poor people. What does it mean because of the poor people? Because both of them, you are obligated a seudah. You would need to make a seudah for the erusin, which is basically the giving of the ring, the kiddushin, and a seudah for the nisuin. In order to save money, they put them both together, and now you're doing one seudah for both. So for you, an engagement party, which nowadays is nothing, it's called shiduchin. You don't need to make a seudah. Okay, so that's very important. And by the way, you should know there's another reason, right? But 1 second. So says the Gemara, right? One is Shitat Rabbi Yehuda, that Seudat Irusin is a reshut, and the next one is Shitat Rabbi Yosef, that Seudat Irusin is a mitzvah. So says the Gemara, V'hashta daman Rav Chasta, but now that Rav Chasta said that the machloket, that means basically between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yosef, is only the Seudah Shniya, which is the second Seudah that you do for Lichvod Irusin, but Seudah Rishona, but the first Seudah, Divrei Kol Mitzvah, it's a mitzvah. So what does that mean? Here it says, the minhag was to do Seudat Irusin in the house of the Kala, Lichvod Irusin. The Chatan used to send to the Kala clothing and, takshitim, which were called sivlonot, right? But then there was also a minhag to send the sivlonot before the Kiddushin, and some used to send it afterwards. Now the Chatanim afterwards used to come and send it a second time. That's a second Seudah, and that was called Seudat Sivlonot. So therefore, it says here the machloke between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yosef was only in the second Seudah. But the first Seudah, according to everybody, was a Seudat mitzvah. That means the first mamash time that they got married, that one that he's giving her the ring, that for sure was a Seudat mitzvah. So afilu tema Rabbi Yehuda, even if you want to say that both of them are Rabbi Yehuda, v'lakash is still not a question. Ha-Seudah Rishonah, Seudah Shniya. It all depends whether it's first Seudah or the second Seudah. First Seudah is a mitzvah. Second Seudah is a reshut. You don't need to do it. So Tanya, we learned to the Braita. Rabbi Yehuda says, Rabbi Yehuda, ani lo shamati leSeudat Irusin. I only heard Seudat Irusin. Avalot Sivlonot. The second Seudah, which is called Seudat Sivlonot, where he gives her the presents, I didn't hear that it's a mitzvah. So Amar lo Rabbi Yosef says, Rabbi Yosef, ani shamati Seudat Sivlonot. No, they're both a mitzvah. Also the first Seudah and also the second Seudah. So Tanya, we learned to the Braita. Rabbi Shimon says, called Seudah Shel Mitzvah. Any Seudah that's not a Seudat mitzvah, and Tamid Chacham Rashai lehenot mimena. A Tamid Chacham should not be there. Meaning, when are the Tamidei Chachamim supposed to be in the Seudot? When it's a mitzvah. Seudat, Siyum Masechet, Brit Milah, Bar Mitzvah, wedding.
How about a birthday party?
That's not a Seudat mitzvah. Yeah? So it says here, Kegom Mai, for what? Amar Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Yochanan, Kegom Bat Kohen li Yisrael u Bat Tamid Chacham la'Maaretz. When you have a Bat Kohen to Israel, or Bat Tamid Chacham la'Maaretz. What does that mean? Something incredible, right? When you have a Bat Kohen getting married to a regular Jew, a regular Israel, or you have a Bat Tamid Chacham that's getting married to an Amaretz, yeah, it's not a good sign. It's not a Seudat mitzvah. Says the Gemara, the Amar Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Yochanan, Bat Kohen li Yisrael en zivugan ole yafeh. They're not going to have a good mazal. Do you know that when Rav Bar Shalom, yeah, or to a Tamid Chacham. The Rav Bar Shalom was here and he was giving us shiurim on Chuppah v'Kiddushin. He went and he told us that Baba Sali was always very makpid that none of his children would get married to Kohanim. We're talking about obviously the boys getting married to a Kohenet, you understand? So he said, why? Why? Because even if you're going to say that maybe he's a Tamid Chacham, who knows if they're a Tamid Chacham or not? So because of that, no. No.
I did not know that there was this Indian.
Yeah, but it's a Gemara Mefureshet. And it's until today. Again, it's not a sur, but it just says that it's En Zivugan Ole Yafeh. The Zivug is not going to be Ole Yafeh. Okay? Maihi, what does this mean?
Rabbi Akiba was Talmid Chacham when he get married already?
Rabbi Akiba, no. He was an Amaretz.
So?
But she wasn't a Kohen. But Kalba Savo was a Kohen?
No, I don't know.
No, she wasn't a Kohen.
It's only, okay.
It's only a Kohenet. A Kohenet means the daughter of a Kohen. So, for example, we have Kohen on board. So he has to make sure that Sarah Talia gets married to a Tamid Chacham, or another Kohen. But it can't be a regular Israel. Yeah, no jokes. Yeah, I'm gonna be on top of it. Yeah, he's gonna remember. It's gonna be a nightmare. Guys, it's Tamid Chacham. Remember, Gemara Masechet Pesachim, Mem Tet. Yeah, how do you remember Mem Tet? Yeah, 49. I don't know. Think about it. Try to make yourself a remembrance. Pesachim memtet. Tamil Chacham, right? With a bat kohen. That's what it has to be. Cannot be. Okay? Fine. Maihi, what else is there that they're not going to have? Amar Rav Chasta, if a bat kohen is going to become an almana or grusha, or zera enla. Wow. What does it mean that they're not going to have a good zivug? Says the Gemara, the bat kohen will become an almana. She'll become a widow. Or she'll become a grusha. Or they won't have children. Look what the Gemara is saying. You have a bat kohen that's getting married to an amaretz. And look what's coming out. Rav Chasta. Yeah? Powerful words. You know what that means? Yeah? B'matnita tana. And the matnita tana, another thing. Or kovra. The husband will bury her. Yeah? Or kovrato. She will bury him. Or meviato lideaniut. Or he'll become an ani. He'll become poor. Yeah? These are powerful words. It's not just, yeah? So says the Gemara, any, is it so? What? She'll become an aniut? The Amar Rabbi Yochanan says, if you want to become rich, get married to Kohanim. Kol sheken shel Torah u'kuna me'ashertan. So kol sheken that the Torah and the Kiuna is going to make them rich. So says the Gemara, no, that's not a chokhmah. Lakash, it's not a question. If the Talmid Chacham wants to become rich, get married to a Kohenet. But if he's going to become poor, get married to a Kohenet if he's an Amaretz. Yeah? Fine. Rabbi Yoshua Nasif Kahanta, he got married to a Kohenet, to a daughter of a Kohen. Chalash. So what happened? He became sick. Amar lo nichale le'aron. Tidbak be'ezareh. What? It's not good for Aaron that I'm going to cling to his children. That he's going to have a chatan like me? Yeah, it sounds very humble, no? It's not worth it for Aaron to have somebody like me. Is Rabbi Yoshua. So Ravidi bar Avi Nasif Kanta, Nafik B'nei Tre B'nei Smiche. So Ravidi bar Avi got married to a Bat Kohen, and he had two chachamim that they were fitting for Hora'ah. They became rabbis. Yeah, big rabbis. Tre B'nei Smiche. B'nei Smicha, they got Smicha. What is Smicha? That you could rely upon them. Samchut. Yeah, Rav Sheshat ben Ravidi, Rav Yeshua ben Ravidi. Two of them were Rav Sheshat, the son of Ravidi, and Rav Yeshua, the son of Ravidi. Rav Papa says, Ilon esivna kahanta lo yatre. If I didn't get married to the daughter of a Kohen, I wouldn't have become rich. Meaning he became rich only because he got married to the daughter of a Kohen. Amar Rav Kahana says, Rav Kahana, Ilon esivta kahanta, if I didn't come and get married to the Kohenet, it says here that even though Rav Kahana, it sounds like he was a Kohen, he himself was not a Kohen. So he says if it wasn't that he got married to a Kohenet, la galai, yeah, he wouldn't have been able to go in exile from Babel to Eretz Israel. When the Talmidei Chachamim, they heard that, they said, what? Valim kom Torah galita, but you went to Galut, to Makom Torah. So he says, no, lo galai ke de gali inshe. I didn't go into exile, right? Makom Torah, just like normal people go. What does that mean? Here it says, Shara Talmidim yotzim mikotehem mirtzonam, when they want to. He was afraid he was going to be captured from the kingdom. So he had to run away. So as if he was saying that that he was punished because he got married to the Bat Kohen. Yeah, Amar Rabbi Yitzchak says Rabbi Yitzchak, Kol hanehene miseudat hareshut. So now we switch now. So all this was until getting married to a Kohenet. Yeah, and we need the Kohanim. We're going to make sure that they frame this Gemara. Yeah, they're going to have to print it out and frame it. Yeah, when their daughter starts on Shidduchim, this is in the resume. Yeah, you want my daughter? Tamil Chacham or a Kohen? No jokes. Yeah, fine. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, says Rabbi Yitzchak, Kol hanehene miseudat hareshut levasov koleh. If somebody's going to have a benefit from seudat hareshut, from a seudah that's not a seudah mitzvah, he's going to go into exile. Shneimar, but it says in a pasuk, "Ve'ochlim karim mitzon v'agalim mitoch marbek uchtiv lachen ata yiglu berosh kolim." What does that mean? The kfasim are mefutamim mitzon. The kfasim, the sheep, which they're fattened up, right, from the sheep, right? Sorry, from the sheep, right? The karim, the keves, right, which is bigger than the tzon. Va'agalim mitoch marbek, or the deed which this is like the place where they fatten the agalim, the egels, the calves. Uchtiv, and it's written, Lachen ata iglu berosh kolim. They're going to go first to exile. So Tana Rabbanan, we learned also in a Braita, if you have a Tamid Chacham that he's always having seudot all over the place, he actually comes and he's destroying his own house. And he's going to make his wife into almanah, and he's going to make his children into yatomim. Why? Because it means that he's just spending overindulging. He's just having one seudah and another seudah and another seudah. Imagine every single day this guy's coming.
Party.
Yeah, he's no reason. So what happened? It's going to be a problem.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, v'talmudo mishtakeach mimenu, and his learning gets forgotten from him. Umachlokot rabot ba'ot alav, and he gets a whole bunch of machlokot, because since he actually forgets his learning, a lot of people start arguing on him. Udvarav enem nishmaim, and nobody even listens to his words anymore. Umechalel shem shemaim, he's being mechalel, desecrating the name of God. V'shem rabo, in the name of his rabbi, v'shem aviv, in the name of his father. And he's going to cause a bad name for himself, for his children, his children for generations. That's a person that he's a glutton. Yeah, that's what you say.
Please.
Yeah, he's mamash over and does just bring it on. Yeah, more meat. Yeah?
I can't take it anymore. Go to the next subject.
Okay. Says the Gemara. Don't worry, Richard.
Don't worry, they're talking about the
Yeah? No, doesn't only mean the Tamid Chacham. Okay, fine. Maihi, right? What is the Shem Ra? What is the bad name that he's causing to himself and his children? Abai says, Karule bar machin tanureh. They're going to call him, to his children, the son of the person that he's always heating up the ovens. Right? That means basically he always, the guy, the son of the cook, as if the father's the cook all the time. Why is he always the chef? Because he's always cooking. He always needs something in his stomach. Rava says, bar merakeh bekube. They're going to call him the son of the one that he's dancing in the Batei Marzach, which means that he's going to cause the letzanim and everything. They're because they're always drunk. So he's I don't know. You said in English, the ones that are always dancing between the buckets, between the barrels. No.
Yeah.
Rav Papa says bar melachech pinche, his son, the son of the one that he's licking the plates.
I used to lick the plates.
Yeah. Okay. Baruch Hashem, you started becoming a Tamid Chacham, Richard. It's good.
Problem is, I still know.
Rav Shemaya says, Bar Machrava, the son of the one that's Mekapel HaRovetz. What does that mean? What? He's
Folding creature.
He takes the coat, folds it up, sleeps it as a pillow.
He's using it as a pillow. Oh, okay.
Sleeps wherever.
That means basically they sleep wherever they are. They're not actually going home. Exactly. Like homeless. So Tana Rabbanan, we learned to the Braita. Leolam yimkor adam kol ma sheyesh lo v'yisa bat tamid chacham. A person should sell everything that he has in order to get married to a bat tamid chacham. She met, because if he dies, goler, he goes to exile, muftach lo shebanav tamidei chachamim. For sure his children will still be tamidei chachamim. Why? Yeah, because the daughter, since she grew up in a house of a bat tamid chacham, she knows what it is, Torah. She knows the chashivut, the importance of the Torah, and therefore her children will be tamidei chachamim as well. It means even though the husband's not around, the children will be tamidei chachamim. This, by the way, look at the video that I just sent out, right? That's being sent out on the secret of the women. Yeah, it's just put it yesterday. I just sent it out last night. Beautiful. Yeah. So it says over here, "Ve'al yisa bat ha'ma'aretz," but don't get married to the daughter of an ha'ma'aretz. Why? She meto goleh, because if he's going to die, he's going to go into exile. Banava me'aretz, his children are going to be on me'aretzot as well. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita, le'olam yimkor adam kol ma sheyesh lo v'yisa bat tamid chacham. A person should sell everything that he has and gets married to a bat tamid chacham, and get your daughter married to a tamid chacham also. Not only you yourself, get your daughter married to a tamid chacham. So he says, Mashal invei gefen b'invei gefen, davar nayo mitkabel. This is the famous song. Why? It's like the grapevines. The grapevines that it's something very beautiful that it's going to be received. Which means the mashal of the nisuin, the mashal of marriage, is like when you have one grapevine putting it with another grapevine. Because when you actually graft them together, right, they become very, very good. So therefore, he says the same thing. When you put two ksherim together, right, which is the opposite of an amaretz, that's what he says. You should get your daughter married to, right, right, in order that you have inve gefen, velo yisa bat ha'ma'aretz, but don't get married to the daughter of an Amaretz. Why? The Invea Geffen be Invea Sneh. But then you're crafting the Invea Geffen, the grapevines, to the sneh. The sneh is like the thorn bush, which we just had in this, which we're actually going to have. This is tomorrow's daf, by the way. And tomorrow's daf, what are we reading on Shabbat?
Sneh.
The sneh, the bush, the burning bush. Moshe Rabbeinu. Yeah? Shedavara kaul, something which is very disgusting, which is very ugly. Ve'enu mitkabel, and it's not going to be acceptable. By the way, you should know, I'll just give you a beautiful word also. Why is it that marriage is compared to wine? Are you guys listening there? I can't see anymore. Yeah?
Yes.
Why is marriage compared to wine? So he says, you know why? Because just like wine is the only liquid that the older that it gets, the better it is. The better that it is, the more it appreciates. Marriage is the same thing. People think that marriage, the more that you're married to her, the worse that it becomes. It's the exact opposite. Marriage is supposed to be like wine. The more years that they're married, the better that the marriage is supposed to become. The connection, the bond between them is supposed to become. What? That's what I heard many years ago. I don't remember, but I heard it many years ago. And you know what? It's 100% true.
It's my experience, but as not
true.
Everybody, obviously.
Okay. It's 100% true. That's only obviously if a person's working on their marriage. If they're not working on their marriage, forget about it. Yeah? Or if there's no shekhinah. If there's no shekhinah, yeshoch the fire is just going to consume them. Fire with fire. But that's the concept. Okay?
Shekhinah is the important.
Very good. Let's continue. Memtet Amubet, 49b. Tanu Rabbanan. We learned in the Braita. Leolam im kol adam kol ma sheyesh lo v'yisa bat tamid chacham. A person should sell everything that he has to get married to a bat tamid chacham. Lo matza bat tamid. If he didn't get married to a tamid chacham, he's bat gedolei ador. He should get married to the people of gedolei ador. What are gedolei ador? People that are on shema tzadikim. I mean, even if he's not a tamid chacham, but he's a righteous person, right? He always does mitzvot and he's a tzaddik. Okay, he's not a big tamid chacham, but at least he's something. If you didn't find gedolei ador, get married to Rashi Knesiot, which these are like, like the presidents of the community and everything. Right? Lo matzah bat Rashi Knesiot. Didn't find the Rashi Knesiot. Sabbat gabei tzedakah. People that they're collecting tzedakah, not collecting tzedakah for themselves. Right? Exactly. They're trustworthy people. They collect tzedakah for others. Lo matzah gabei sabbat min de tinokot. Get married to the daughters of the teachers, of the rabbanim of the teachers. Velo yisab batam, but never get married to the batam ha'aretz. Mipnei shehen sheket, because they're an abomination. They're like the creepy crawlers. Unshotehen sheretz. Right? And their wives are considered a creepy crawlers, right? The insects. And on their daughters it says, Arur shochevim kol behema. Cursed is that he comes and he sleeps with an animal. Are you listening?
The notes say, Rabbi, here that Amaretz doesn't.
Listening.
Somebody who's simply ignorant, but somebody who's really chutzpahdik in being, in this context, because that's what it's referring to. Somebody.
Okay. 100%. But Amaretz. Now, why? I don't know if we're actually going to see it here or not. Let's see if we're going to mention it. If not, then remind me to tell you why is it considered Arur Shochevim Kol Behema? Okay. Tanya, we learned in a Braita. So imagine, look, I remember that I was in Toronto and I gave a Dvar Torah many years ago. It was, and my rabbi started laughing because he said, so, like, as if that I didn't care, like I didn't have anything on my tongue, that I just went boom. I just like, if you're going to get married to an Amaretz and, people are looking around, this guy's an Amaretz and the daughter, it's like you're sleeping with an animal. It's a powerful thing. Tanya, we learned in the Braita, Rabbi says, Ha'ma'aretz is asul lechol basar. And Ha'ma'aretz is not allowed to eat meat. Shneimar, but it says in a pasuk, Zot Torah be'ema ve'ov. Kol ha'osek b'Torah, anybody that's osek b'Torah, he's allowed to eat basar be'ema ve'ov. He's allowed to eat meat and chicken. But if you don't learn Torah, asul lechol basar be'ema ve'ov. You're not allowed to eat meat and chicken. Amar Rabbi Elazar says, now why? By the way, you should know these Gemarot are beautiful Gemarot. So we already explained this Gemara. The Gemara says, Imen Kemach, the Mishnah. Imen Kemach and Torah. Imen Torah and Kemach. Says Rav Vadim Bar Tanura on the Mishnayot and Pirkei Avot. If there's no Kemach, there's no Torah. If there's no food, you're not going to be able to learn.
Now, what are you reading from now?
My brain. Right? Imen Torah and Kemach. And if there's no Torah, there's no Kemach. It's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avot. We said in Pirkei Avot.
Right.
What does that mean? So says the Rav Vadim Bar Tanura that if there's no Torah, mutav shu yamut bara'av. It's better that he should die in hunger and not be able to eat the bread. Because if he eats the bread, he has to pay for it. Rav Yisrael Salanter used to say that this world is a very expensive hotel. Everything that you take in this world, you have to pay for. You can take everything that you want on credit, but you have to pay for everything. So in order to pay for meat, you have to learn Torah. If you learn Torah, you're able to pay for the meat. If you don't learn Torah, you don't have enough money to pay for the meat.
But you didn't tell them why. The whole thing about eating meat is that you take a part of the animal, and inside of you becomes part of you.
Part
and
of
you
you.
need to have
You are what you
refinement
eat.
to be able
100%.
to,
In order that it doesn't become you. Amar Rabbi Elazar, says Rabbi Elazar, "Ha'aretz mutar lenochro afilu b'yom kippurim shechal yo b'Shabbat." You're allowed to kill an ha'aretz even on Yom Kippurim that falls out on Shabbat. Amru lo tamidav Yisur and Solar Rebbe. Emor leshochto. He says, what? Well, you're going to do shechita to him? Yeah, since the shechita takes out the blood more, right, than nechira, why did he say kill him in that way? Amar la, and he told them, Ze ta'um beracha ve'zenu ta'um beracha. When you kill him with shechita, you have to do beracha. When you kill him in the other way, you don't have to do shechita.
If he's a rodef, to do sodomy or something.
Yeah, to do something, right? This is where it comes from, the entire concept that people start laughing around. He did shechita to him. You understand? Boom. If he's an ha'aretz, you do shechita. Yeah? Well, here it's written actually nechira, not shechita. But okay. Amar Rabbi Elazar, says Rabbi Elazar, ha'aretz asur litlavot imo b'derech. You're not allowed to go on the path with an ha'aretz. Shneimar, ki hu chayecha v'orichemecha. The Torah is your life, and it's everything that you have. Al chayav lo chas. He's not going to be chas on his own life. Al chayech chavaro lo koshken. Meaning, if he doesn't care about his own life, he's going to carry your life. If he doesn't care about his own life, that's why he's in ma'aretz. He's going to start caring about your life. Don't be with him. Amar Rishua ben Nachman ben Yochanan, says Rishua ben Nachman ben Yochanan, ha'aretz mutar lekorel kedag. You're allowed to tear up an ha'aretz like a fish.
Unbelievable.
You tear him up. Amar Rabbi Yishmael ben Yitzchak, says Rishua ben Shmuel, umigabo, and even from his back. That it's immediately that he's going to die. Tanya, we learned in the Braita. Amar Rabbi Akiva, listen to these words. Says Rabbi Akiva, Kishaiti ha'aretz, when I was in ha'aretz, Amarti, I used to say, Mi teli tamir chacham ve'nashechenu kachamor. Who's going to give me a tamir chacham and I'm going to bite him like a donkey? Yeah, what does that mean, like a donkey? If you remember, it doesn't say it here. I think it's Chaim Kanievsky. Chaim Kanievsky once said that the donkey was when a donkey comes and he bites, he doesn't let go until he breaks the bone, and therefore it doesn't become healed. Yeah, so it says over here, Amrulo Tamidav, they told him, Rebbe, Emor kekelev, just say like a dog. Why like a donkey? Amar lahen, he said, what did he say? Ze noshech v'shover etzem, v'ze noshech v'eno shover etzem. He says one of them is coming and he's going to actually bite and he's going to break the bone. The other one not. So Tanya, we learned in the Braita, Rabbi Min used to say, if somebody is going to come and get his daughter married to an ha'aretz, kilu kofta manicha lifnei ari. It's like he's tying her up and putting him in front of the ari of the lion. Ma'ari dores ve'ochel, just like the ari comes and he starts coming and eating, and he doesn't have any bullshit panim, he doesn't care. He just comes, ties her down, and he ties it. That's the way they do it. Remember, the lion, he comes and he eats his prey even alive. So he doesn't kill it and then eats the prey. He doesn't care. And he doesn't care what he's doing. It is an embarrassment. So to the ma'aretz. He's
going to take his wife without her permission.
Exactly. Makeu boel ve'en lo. Exactly. He's going to come. He's going to beat her up. He's going to do whatever he wants as long as he has his food. He doesn't care. He's not going to, to foreplay or all these things. And no. Boom. He's not going to appease her right away. What does he do? He just comes, boom, and he does whatever he wants, like an ari, like a lion taking its prey. Tanya, we learned in the Braita, Rabbi Eliezer says, Ilmale anu tzrichim lahem lemasal matan. If it wasn't that we needed them for masal matan for business, hayurgin otanu. They would actually kill us. Tanya Rabbi Chia taught in the Braita. Kol asik b'Torah lifnei ma'aretz. You're going to come and you're going to be learning Torah in front of a ma'aretz. Kilu boel orusuto b'fanav. It's like as if you're having your relations with your engaged wife in front of them, which means, but you're going to be, as if to say that you have to be mevayesh from there. So the same thing. The Torah is like an arusa. The Torah is like your engaged woman. That she's like engaged to you. Fine. Meaning, they hate Tamidei Chachamim more than the Goyim hate the Jews. Right? We're talking about mamash, powerful words here. Unshotehen yoter mehen. And the wives of the Amearetz hate Tamidei Chachamim even more than the Amearetzot themselves. Meaning the wives of these Amearetzot, they hate the rabbis more than the Goyim hate the Jews. Yeah, powerful words. Tana, we learned, Shanal Piresh yoter mikulan. However, though, if you have a person that was religious and he went off the path, he hates the rabbis more than everybody.
Oh, you say.
Okay? Tanu Rabbanan.
Many of the people in Europe that got into disputations where rabbis went up there.
Exactly. That's what we're saying. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the right that Shia Dvarim Nemru B'Ma'aretz. There were 6 things brought down to do with the Ma'aretz. Number 1, Emosim Le'medut. We don't give them any type of testimonies. Emekablin, right, which means that we don't want them to hear, to see any edut. Ve'emekablim menu edut. We don't accept edut from them also. We don't accept testimony from them. Ve'emekalim, we never tell them secrets. But they're going to come and tell other people. Number 4, we never put them as people in charge, right? On top of orphans' properties. How do you call that? Administrator, right? Or on the kupat tzedakah also. They're not going to make them a minister. You don't go on the path. And some people say, you don't even mention if they lost the lost object. You don't even mention it. Okay? So it says we have a Tanakama, and according to Tanakama, what's his svara? Sometimes what's going to happen, he's going to have good children. And what's going to happen is he's going to benefit from the Avedah. So you should actually mention if he has a lost object. 2 dots.
I missed that.
Basically, there was a machloke there. Do you have to mention when he loses lost object or not? Tanakama said no. Right? Tanakama said yes, and the Yeshomrim said you don't. So according to Tanakama, why do you have to mention if he loses lost object? Because it could be that he's going to have a child that the child will use it.
Says what?
And that no, he doesn't say that. No, okay. Somebody that goes out of Yerushalayim and he has Basar Kodesh, so if he didn't pass a certain point, that Tzofim, he has to go back and burn it there. He has to go back in front of the Lifnei Bira and burn it there with that Semenachah. If he passed it, he burns it on the spot. Lemeimra, you're going to tell me that Ramid holds Kebetza hu dechashiv, only if it's a Kebetza, it's important. And Rabbi Yehuda holds that even a Kazait is going to be important. Unmini, we have a contradiction. Right? How much does a person have to do to eat to do Zimun until a Kazait? And Rabbi Yehuda says a Kebetza, which means exact opposite, right? Which means, are you telling me we have that Rabbi Yehuda? Yeah, is it considered? So what's important? Is it kazait or kabetza? Here it's saying the exact opposite. Here Rabbi Yehuda is saying it's important is kabetza, and over by us he's saying it's going to be a kazait. So the Gemara answers, I'm Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says. So the Gemara says muchlefet hashita. Muchlefet hashita means you have to switch it, which means that the shita of Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, and the Mishnah Berachot were switched. So for it's not that our Mishnah switched, but that Mishnah is switched. Okay, so therefore, basically Rabbi Meir says kabetza and Rabbi Yehuda says kazait. Okay, just like over here. So Abaye says the ulam notiv, don't switch it around. Hatam bekra pligi, hacha b'sfara pligi. Over there, there's a machlok to do the pasuk. Meaning, since it was a machlok to do the pasuk, Rabbi Meir says one thing, Rabbi Yehuda says another thing. It's based upon a pasuk. Here, it's based upon sfarot. It's based upon logic. So it's not mechayev. It doesn't obligate you that what you hold over here, you hold over there. It's 2 different halachot. Right? Hatam b'krai pligi over there. There's the pasuk. Why it says v'achalta v'savato v'rachta et Hashem Elokecha.
That's subjective. Savata is a subjective.
Rabbi Meir holds v'achalta zu achila. V'savata, you're going to be satiated. So shtia, that's drinking. V'achila b'kazait. Whenever we mention anything to do with eating, it's kazait. Rabbi Yehuda holds v'achalta v'savata is it's a achila that has svia. It's an eating that has the being satiated. What is that? Minimum of kabetza. Even though truthfully in 58 grams, you're not going to be full anyway. 54 grams, whatever, 56 grams. Right? But still, at least it's much more than a kazait. Hacha, but over here, here it's a svara. Rabbi Meir says chazaratot kitumato. That when you're going back, it's just like the tumah. Just like tumato to become tameh, tumat ochlin needs a kabetza. So too, when you have to travel back, it has to have a kabetza in order to travel back. Rabbi Yehuda says no, chazarato ki yisuro. The chazara is like the yisur. Just like the yisur is of kazait, av chazarato bekazait. So to the chazara is going to be with a kazait. And with this we finish. With that, we continue on Sunday.